guys, welcome to How to Hack by Miraki Therapy Center. Here we are going to talk about a bunch of different mental health related topics and how to hack them.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of How to Hack presented by Meraki Therapy Center. I'm your host for today, Mriga. You may know me from our previous episode, and if you don't, please give our previous episode a listen. I'm joined here by Sneha Nair, psychologist and psychotherapist, as well as a dancing movement therapist. You can catch her in action on our Instagram, which will be linked in the description. Some of you may have guessed from our title that today she's going to be talking to us about motherhood, specifically new motherhood. For a lot of first time mothers out there, that initial transition can be difficult, especially because there's only so much parenting books can help you. There's not much structured parenting to do with the baby after all. So Sneha's here today to help us navigate that initial foray into parenthood. Welcome, Sneha.
Hello, thank you for this wonderful introduction, Mriga. And yes, I'm excited for this one.
So what made you want to talk about new motherhood? You know, there's obviously a lot of stuff about parenthood. We're going to have a upcoming episode somewhere down the line about parenting, just as a sneak peek for our listeners out there. But new motherhood as a completely different subject.
So I think this topic became a fascination for me once I became a mother. Okay, and obviously most of my friends and people around me, we were all becoming mommies around the same time, and we kept checking in with each other and figuring out what is happening. And also being a psychologist, a professional, and seeing a clientele, so theory information bhi tha and practical application bhi ho raha tha, which got me thinking about what are the things, where are the loopholes, what needs to be discussed when we talk about new motherhood. And one or two striking examples or points that I can think of is, as a mom, you end up setting unrealistic expectations for yourself. Your support system, just shifts. Your entire identity just shifts. And you don't know whom to talk to about all these things.
That makes sense. There's a lot of societal ideas about how beautiful motherhood is. Right, it is always very
rosy and a very happy looking picture.
Yeah,
where
that Bollywood happy ending of her becoming a mother after the marriage.
Yes.
That's
and when reality hits, it's just, oh my god, what is happening? Why hasn't anybody told me about this before? That was my first question, honestly. The moment I became a mom, I realized, what is this that I'm going through? Like, this is not what I thought it's going to be. Like, I'm crying. I even going for a bath is like, oh my god, it's a to-do list in my head. I'm checking with my friends. Listen, is your kid doing this? Is my kid, are we on the same page? What is happening?
Has your baby started crawling yet? Mine hasn't.
Yes, she's crying too much. What do we do about this? And there is no formal place where I'm getting an answer. Like, all of us are just on trial and error mode.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized, there is no way you can comparing. So this was my personal experience. Like, I couldn't compare, okay, she's doing this right now, probably, my friend's kid is doing this, so my daughter's falling short somewhere. Do I need to do something about it? So I am paranoid. I am making my family paranoid. I am, making sure that the doctor is also in the picture for everything. So there is overload of information and too many confusing things out there, and there is no way I know how to clear that confusion. Though there were books, what to expect when you are expecting, and this book and that book, and there are a lot of books which does help. I will not say that they are absolutely useless, but after a point, it is the trial and error which us as new moms have to be ready to do.
There's a difference between theory and practice.
Yes. A huge difference.
And the theory also, from what we have seen, is like the theory is that it is all rosy. It's really nice. Motherhood is nice. So that expectation, that ugly side of it, I suppose, is not something that is talked about as easily.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, suddenly, up until now, we were taken care of. As soon as there's a baby in the picture, the entire shift of focus is gone to the kid. Okay, without realizing the fact that we are still recovering, the mother or the caregiver is still recovering from whatever has happened. That shift of focus, that loss of identity, for me, I didn't know. At least for a good 2-3 months, I didn't know what to do, because that monotonous loop of feed, sleep, wake up, repeat, feed, sleep, wake, that's all I was doing, and it was becoming so frustrating. I didn't know where to go, whom
Because
to talk to.
even when you do have advice, I know that you had said before about like, oh, you should sleep when the baby sleeps. How?
Oh my god.
How?
Advice. Let me just let you know, okay, you will have a lot of advices which is random. Okay? And it's very difficult for a new mom to understand what to listen to, what not to listen to, where to go. So whoever is listening, if there is some way you all want to help, please don't give unsolicited advice. Okay? Allow the caregiver to ask for help and questions and then give your advice. Right? And the other points that you mentioned, sleep when the baby sleeps. How? How to do that? There is nobody talking about how do we do it. The baby, if you talk about a 3-month-old baby, 5-month-old baby, वो तो सोया ही है through almost 10 to 12 hours in a day. That baby is sleeping, and in that sleep time, we are expected to be finishing the laundry, we are finishing the dishes, we are getting the food ready, we are doing our basic necessity, ke go for a bath, brush your teeth, comb your hair, as simply put. And by the time all this is done, the baby is awake.
And then you have to bond.
Yes. कहाँ से होगा bond?
Because you're just handling responsibilities instead of being able to give your bandwidth to the child.
Yes. So the mental load of the mental to-do list hinders your emotional involvement, the emotional availability that you can provide to that kid.
Because this is a thing that some new mothers also feel guilty about. They say it with a lot of hesitation that I don't know how to say this, but I just don't feel for my child the way I think I'm supposed to.
Correct. Precisely. And it's okay if you don't feel something. This is what I wanted somebody to tell me when I was a new mom. Okay, it's okay. It's fine. You're crying. It's fine. You're not able to bond. It's fine. Give yourself that time. Thankfully, I think the support system around me got that what I was going through, and they would make sure, okay, no, the kid is fine. You go. Please go. Take a walk and come. Go take down in the garden. Take a walk and come. Listen to your music. I'm very passionate about dance. So they're like, go, do some कोई गाना बजा थोड़ा सा नाच के आ. These are my mom's words to me, because they knew that I was not being me. Okay, they could see that. And also, the first thing that hits on the list when you are a new mom is your hobbies go out of the window. Your me time is out of the window. The only struggle you have is कि मेरे को मेरा time कैसे मिलेगा? No, I can't. What if the kid needs me? What if the kid cries? What if so what? The kid is supposed to be crying. No, you can't have a calm, soothing baby all the time.
No.
That's an unrealistic expectation.
Particularly in the first few months, right? They don't exactly have
Correct. The only mode of communication that child has is that of crying. What else can they do at that moment?
That is how they communicate. They will not laugh, I think, at that point, as far as I am aware.
Yeah, they would start smiling and stuff, but their need will only be communicated through crying.
Yeah. Very need based. In the initial few months, it is about I need to birth. I need to be fed. I need to be washed. I need this. I need that. That is the sort of
Correct.
Because they're still developing at that point. I don't think they're thinking of, oh, I want to do a hobby.
Yeah. No, the kids are absolutely need specific. It is the mothers or usually the elders who probably think otherwise, which causes a conflict.
There is a certain amount of complexity to the mother's individual experience that is difficult to articulate. Even now, I'm struggling to find the right words to describe how I've seen mothers go through those initial few months, because it's just like, what words can you use?
Exactly. It's all over the place. And that's precisely how most new moms probably feel. All over the place. And what they really need to know is that it's okay to feel that. And this it's okay is something which is a reassurance for the moms in those phases. It's fine. Don't worry. This is a phase. You will pass through this. These are not the words that come. Oh, you're feeling this way. Hare, what kind of a mom are you? Don't you want to, sleep with your kid? Don't you want to take care of your kid? What kind of a mom? These are the words that are thrown at you. Whether you like it or not, I don't want to make general statements here, but most times this is what has been observed.
So what can I do to help out a new mom? Because that is a struggle sometimes. I think with the baby, there are certain things obviously that I can help out with. There are some things I can't. I can help her sanitize the feeding, all of those sort of instruments. I can help change the diaper, I guess. Those are basic things I can help. But there's a lot of needs that the child has that are going to be so specific to the parents.
You've been very sweet when you said that you were open to changing diapers, because not
That was a lie. That was a lie.
not many in the support system or the help group are wanting to do that. But yes, so if we've usually heard the phrase, that it takes a village to raise the child, right? But I think it takes a village to take care of the mom as well. So if we really want to help the child, what does a child need? वो 5-6 महीने के होने तक उसका बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है?
Mom.
So how we help? We let the mom be there around, which means we can do what needs to be done. Like there are chores that needs to get done. If you need to do some coordination, you need to call somebody. I can offer to help doing that. Ask the mom कि कौन सा area में देखो help चाहिए. In what way can I be of help to you? Let her take the lead and tell you what she needs, because they really know what they need at that time. Unfortunately, that's not what they get, which causes the frustration.
There is a mismatch.
Yes. So she might just say, please take care of the baby for say 2 hours. The baby would be sleeping. अगर उसको कुछ चाहिए, तो this is what you need. I'll just take my time out and come. As specific as that.
That's enough.
That's enough. In the afternoon, probably now, just before we spoke, sleep when the baby sleeps. How is that possible? When the baby is slightly awake or can be taken care of by the others, if there are support systems in the house who can manage that, and the mother gets an undivided sleep of say 1.5 hours in the afternoon or a nap time, it's good enough for her to recover, to recuperate, to be back. Okay, her emotional tank has to be filled at every point for her to be emotionally available for that kid. Right? So ask, in what way can I help you? What is it that I can do to ease off your load? Because this is not something that most people talk about. Like even now, if I have to, ask for help, if I have to, tell, okay, please, I just need to get this done. I need to get that done. Could you take care of my daughter? It still sounds like take her along. You can do it with her. Those are the words I get. Which then it is very, very natural for us to feel guilty.
You still feel like a new mom even though your child is 6 years old.
I think I don't have the same challenges that I had in the initial months, but challenges don't stop. I think it just changes its phase in time.
To be fair, I'm sure that our mothers also have their
definitely
challenges parenting us.
Definitely. Come on, I am 38, but I still need my mom for things. So this I remember this very specifically, that I used to keep telling my mom कि थोड़ी और ये बड़ी हो जाएगी ना, then things are going to be fine. You know, a little more my daughter will grow and then I'm going to be okay. And my mom just turned back and asked me, how old are you? And I said, yeah, I'm probably 34, 35 when I was, you know, when I was having this conversation. And she said, you still need me, don't you? And she just burst that bubble for me. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this is like a forever. I don't think I can ever say that she'll grow up a little and things will be fine, she'll grow. So challenges would change, requirements would change. But I also think that once the initial years are managed, you know, it becomes easier.
Training wheels are off.
Yes. Yes.
So coming back to new motherhood in particular, there is a societal expectation of what new moms are supposed to be like. But there is also an expectation of what that parental unit is supposed to function like, right? Like, we do live in a patriarchy, we can't deny that relying on husbands for, or just partners in general, for sort of parenting support is difficult sometimes for me.
Yes. So that's a good point that you brought in, Rika, because here again, when we talk about the guilt factor, you know, the fact that I have to ask for help, or you know, I am at home, it's my primary responsibility to take care. ये सब fed है हमारे head में. It need not be. So the first thing is के again, even amongst the partner, it's okay if they take off some load. It doesn't mean anything about you, right? Allow the partner also to bond with the kid. Allow the partner to be a part of this unit. You know, what if, you know, probably they will not know what to do. उनको नहीं समझेगा क्या करना है. Yeah, you know, they are busy. They need to do things. These are all unhelpful thoughts that are running in your head. So first and foremost, I really think that seeking help or asking for professional help to be able to deal with this guilt angle, because that will automatically, you know, ease off a lot of external aspects around this. कि मैं कैसे help मांगू, मैं क्या पूछूं, लोग क्या बोलेंगे, you know, घर पे क्या होगा, etc. ये सब, we don't have the time and the bandwidth for this.
No, and I do want to remind our listeners that in a lot of countries, fathers also get paternity leave when the child is born. This is not particularly unique, that the partner is also sort of supposed to chip in a bit.
Correct.
To
And
the
I think to be very fair and honest, I think things are
Changing.
transitioning now. The awareness being created and acknowledging these facts of, you know, how there is an absolutely different transition. Like the person is not the same anymore after, you know, bearing a child or having a child in the family. The entire dynamics change. So it's not just a one person who can manage the show. That is unrealistic. It is not possible. So we will have to, you know, partner in or chip in. And so I do see that shift happening now. I do see that change happening amongst the current population though. So
you do have a lot of fathers also who do really want to be involved in their child.
Yes,
right? They want
absolutely.
to be equal parents. They
Absolutely.
want their children to talk about them the way that they talk about their moms.
Exactly, that does happen. You know, they want to go for all the prenatal classes. They want to be there for every discussion with the doctor. They want to be there during the process also. You know, during the what do you say? If it is childbearing, then that, or if in any way, whenever the child is involved in the picture, both the partners want to be there equally present, which is a good sign if you ask me.
And so we need to encourage new mothers to sort of ask their partners also out, because that gives them also that's not an excuse per se, but then even the partner doesn't have to ask like, hey, can I be a bit more involved in parenting our child?
Yes, absolutely. And this again, I think I can relate to my personal experience for the fact that it was difficult for me to ask my partner to get up in the night, to feed the baby, because this was, when I'm saying this was how I felt. I'm like, oh, he has to get up, go to work, he has to, though I knew theoretically I'm aware of all the other aspects, but there was something which was not, helping me pass through that. So asking for help, talking to a therapist, figuring out my emotional quotient at that time, getting my things set, setting routines to get things into structure, all these things helped me navigate through this. So I know that some part of it helps, and there are certain things which will be a trial and error always. But the most essential part is to seek the help that you need to at that moment.
Okay. So with that, we come to the end of our episode. Thank you, Sneha, for your insights into new motherhood.
Thank you so much, Mrida, because this is a very personal topic to me, and I'm so glad that I could share some of my insights out here. So thank you for giving me the space.
You're welcome, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in and spending your time with us today. I hope you liked this episode, and if you do, please share it with your loved ones. Don't forget to rate it and subscribe. If you haven't listened to our previous episodes, we would love it if you do, and I hope to have you with us for our next episode.